Hey there, science explorers, and welcome! Are you ready for a mission? Today, we're going to solve a huge mystery that's literally all around you. What actually makes something alive? So grab your explorer hats, because we are diving right in.
All right, first up, I've got a puzzle for you. Now, this might sound kind of silly, but really think about it. What is the real difference between a bird and a bicycle? I mean, they both can get you from one place to another, right? But there's something completely different about one of them, isn't there? That's the mystery we're solving today. So to figure this out, let's take a closer look. Here we have a dog, and here we have a bike. What makes them so different? You know, the dog can bark, it can wag its tail. What else can it do that a bike just can't? To get to the bottom of this, we're going to need to gather some clues. And our first stop, the whole world around us. Okay, every great explorer needs a map, right? Well, our map is the entire world. We're going to explore all the different places and things out there to find our clues. You ready? Let's go. Okay, first things first. Let's learn a big science word. It's environment. And you know what? It sounds fancy, but it just means, well, everything around you. Yep, your room, the park outside, the land, the water, it's all part of our environment. The entire world is basically our science lab.
And our first stop on this world tour is a busy city. Whoa, look at all this stuff. What do you spot? I see people, cars, huge buildings. This is a city environment, and boy, is it packed.
All right, let's switch gears and zoom over to the countryside. So how is this place different from the city we just saw? That's right, it's way greener, isn't it? We've got fields, trees, and hey, look, some animals, like cows. A totally different vibe, a totally different environment. Whoa, check this out. Now we're deep in a forest. This place is just packed with animals. Can you see the monkeys? How about the elephants? And just look at all those different trees and flowers. There is so much going on here.
And for our last stop, we're hitting the beach. You've got the sand, that huge blue ocean, some cool palm trees. So let's recap. We've seen a city, the countryside, a forest, and a beach. Okay, explorers, we've gathered a ton of examples. Now, it's time to start sorting through our clues.
All right, so we've seen a whole bunch of things, right? From cars and buildings to cows and coconut trees. So how in the world do we sort all this stuff out? And how do we finally solve our bird versus bicycle mystery? We need a test, a special alive test to find our first big clue.
And here it is. Drum roll, please. Our very first secret clue is growth. I mean, think about it. A teeny tiny seed grows into a huge tree. And what about you? You weren't always as big as you are today, right? You grew. This is our #1 test for figuring out if something's alive.
So, that gives us our first big rule of thumb. Anything and everything in our environment that shows growth, like people, animals, plants, we call them living things. Super simple, right? If it grows, it's living.
Okay, so what about the other stuff, the things that don't grow? Think about a rock, or maybe your favorite toy car. It's going to stay the exact same size forever, isn't it? Well, we call those non-living things. So there we have it, two big groups, the living things that grow and the non-living things that, well, don't.
In this chart here, it shows our new rule perfectly. Check it out. On the left side, you've got a person, a dog, a tree, a parakeet. They all grow, so they're living things. But on the right, a glass, that bicycle, a rock, some books, they don't grow. They're non-living things. See how that works? Awesome. We've just cracked the first part of our secret code.
But wait, there's more. Growth is just the first clue. Living things actually have a whole bunch of secrets. You could almost call them superpowers. So let's uncover all of them, one by one.
All right, superpower #1, movement. Animals are always moving, right? They run, they fly, they swim. There's a cool science word for that, locomotion. But get this, did you know plants move too? Now, they're not going to run a marathon or anything, but they do slowly turn their leaves to face the sun. Pretty cool, huh? So, yep, all living things move in their own special way.
Okay, on to superpower #2, nutrition. And that's really just a fancy science word for eating, because all living things need food to get energy. Now, plants are incredible. They're kind of like tiny chefs that make their own food just using sunlight. The science word for that is autotrophic. But animals, we can't do that. We have to eat other things like plants or other animals to get our energy. That makes us heterotrophic. Two big words, but a simple idea. All right, this next one is like a magic trick. Superpower number 3 is respiration, which is the sciencey way of saying breathing. And I can prove it. If you take a special clear liquid like calcium hydroxide and you use a straw to bubble your breath into it, guess what? The liquid turns all cloudy. You know why? Because our breath contains carbon dioxide. It's real-life proof that we're all alive and breathing.
And now for the final and maybe the most amazing superpower of all, reproduction. This just means making more of their own kind. I mean, look, a chicken lays an egg and poof, a brand new baby chick hatches. Now, can a bicycle lay an egg that hatches into a baby bicycle? No way. Only living things can do that.
And just like that, mission accomplished, explorers. We have officially discovered all the superpowers of living things. So let's go over our official checklist one more time. To be considered alive, a thing has to grow, move, get nutrition, respire, and reproduce. That's it. That's the secret code for life.
You all did some fantastic work today, explorers. Seriously, you've learned how to think just like a real scientist, sorting the world into 2 massive groups. So, it's time for our mission debrief and your final and most important assignment yet.
So let's go all the way back to the beginning and solve our puzzle once and for all. What is the real difference between a bird and a bicycle? Well, a bird checks every single box on our list. It grows, it moves, it eats, it breathes, and it makes more little birds. A bicycle, it can't do any of those things, not a single one. So it's a living thing versus a non-living thing. And now you, yes you, have the secret checklist to tell the difference between anything in the entire world.
And that, my friends, brings us to your next mission. If you choose to accept it, I want you to take your new explorer skills and go investigate your very own environment. Your house, your backyard, the local park. Use that checklist. What living things can you find? And what about non-living things? The whole world is your lab now, so get out there and go explore.